In this week's Torah portion, right, there's, Exodus, right? Huge party, miraculous story. And in the heart of these amazing, this bonanza, I have one question. We receive in this week's Torah portion, the heart of all what's going on, our first commandment. And the first commandment God ever gives the Jewish people is to sanctify the beginning of each month, right? A mundane commandment. Now, it's very perplexing because I would have thought the first commandment to be what would be more fitting, more logical, more rational than I am God, right? That's the first of the 10 commandments. So shouldn't it be also here the first commandment? Why is the first commandment this mundane? Sanctify the beginning of each month. What is this about? Right? It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical. However, when we think about it, Judaism is nonsensical, Judaism is not rational, Judaism is not logical. These are all Greek Western inventions, right? Judaism is something else. Even the Talmud, this sort of what is considered to be the peak of rational analytic thinking, right? The way we create our judicial system, is mixed together with elements of magic, myth, of, voices from the sky, the birds that talk. Judaism, the Talmud is not a logical way of thinking, it is a Jewish way of thinking. And along those lines, I'd like to come back to this first commandment. Now, question. In a way, I think when God comes and says that the first commandment is to sanctify the beginning of each month, meaning to sanctify time, in a way, it is a much more powerful way of saying the first commandment is, I am God, because that in fact is what's happening here. And I'll explain. By God saying, you must sanctify time, you must sanctify the beginning of each month in my name, God in fact is telling us, once you need to sanctify time is, this constant thing. It's almost prophetic of the many commandments that Judaism is going to have for a Jew in his life or her life, because once we know we need to sanctify time in God's name, we are in fact being told, you should know, you are going to have to commit a series of actions throughout all time sanctifying my name, from the moment you wake up to the way you tie your shoelaces to the way you go to bed at night. This is a Jewish way of thinking. And here I have there's a midrash, a great midrash, and many rabbis have this way of thinking that in fact God giving us this first commandment of sanctifying time is a very beautiful present, because in fact it's like a king who says to his son, here, now you take the clock, now you're in charge of time. But the way I see it, it's the exact opposite. This commandment in fact is God saying, when you sanctify time, it's my clock, I'm the one who's in charge of you. That's, I think, what's going on here. I don't think it's the other way around. This is the Jewish way of thinking. This is the most powerful way. Once God commands us to sanctify time, then the first commandment on Mount Sinai can be, I am God. Because we are already committed to every second of the day to sanctifying God's name. Thoughts on the Torah portion of Bo, the heart of Exodus, why the first commandment is to sanctify time, and how perhaps this is the most powerful Jewish way of saying, I am your Lord. Shabbat Shalom.